Now, breaking news from NBC4.
Welcome back. Continuing coverage of that horrific mishap on the fairgrounds of the Ohio State Fair.
We are going to go live now to a news conference with the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
The family members of those that are involved. This evening at about 7:24 p.m. on the Ohio State Fairgrounds, a trooper reported a ride had malfunctioned on the fairground property. And the initial reports indicated that riders were injured from that mishap. What I can confirm at this time is that one person is deceased as a result of this incident. We also have additionally 7 other persons who are injured. 3 of those are in critical conditions. All of the folks that have been injured have been transported to local hospitals throughout the region. We do continue to try to reach out to family members. At this point, we won't release any names of any of those that have been injured because we are still in the process of reaching out to family and notifying in the instance of the person that is deceased, making sure that we have all of the family notified of that death. We continue to work with our partners from the Columbus Police Department, the Columbus Fire, and also the Department of Agriculture. It is the responsibility of the Highway Patrol, and that's why I'm here. It is the responsibility of the Highway Patrol to provide security at the fairgrounds, but we also have the responsibility of investigations on all state-owned and leased property. And so we will be, over the course of the next days and weeks, conducting a thorough investigation of this incident. And at this point, I would like to introduce the Director of the Department of Agriculture, Director David Daniels.
Thank you, Colonel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And first of all, I want to say that our hearts and condolences go out to those that have been injured by this tragic accident. Minutes after I learned of the incident that has happened this evening in the Amusement Ride Division, I spoke to the governor, and he ordered the ride shut down here on the Ohio State Fairgrounds until we have an opportunity with our amusement ride inspection personnel to do a complete review of all the rides that are there. Ride inspection is one of the most important things that we do. The department
We are listening in right now to this news conference. That was the Director of the Agriculture Department, David Daniels. And of course, the Agriculture Department is responsible for the inspections of these rides. So they were providing a news conference on the situation, the accident tonight at the Ohio State Fair. We're trying to get that back for you. And so I understand we have it. Let's listen in again.
We started out today with 11 rides that did not open because we were not able to get the inspection work done on them. Some of those were cleared during the day. We have 5 rides that will not, or 4 rides that will not be operating because they do not meet the mechanical tests. So we will work through the night and into tomorrow to make sure that those re-inspections are done and the rides are inspected to the manufacturer's specifications. So we will be continuing and concluding those as soon as can and have those hopefully open back up for the public when we are sure that those inspections have been done. So I would now introduce the Governor of the State of Ohio, John Kasich.
It's a very tough day, very tough night for the people of our state because of the loss of our citizens. It's kind of hard to imagine that you have family that goes to a state fair and those calls come that there was a terrible accident, a terrible tragedy, and somebody you love was involved. It's a very, very tough situation when you go somewhere to celebrate and have a great time, and you're with friends and sometimes with family, and you know the fair is about the best things in life, and then tonight with this accident, it becomes a terrible, terrible tragedy. Of course, what I want to know immediately is, first of all, what are we doing with rides? And so we shut all the rides down. And then beyond that, we want to know about what's the process for inspection. And we have a man here who heads our operation. He's been an inspector for 17 plus years, nearly a couple decades. He not only inspects the rides here at the Ohio State Fair, but he has been involved in inspecting rides all across the state. I think he mentioned there were 4,000 units that he's inspected. This particular ride was inspected multiple times, and I'll let him talk a little bit about this, including by a third-party inspector who he witnessed inspecting this ride. We will get to the bottom of this. We will investigate it. There will be complete transparency. We will have some records for you available this evening that will be able to show how this particular ride was inspected, and release that to all of you. Of course, we want to get to the bottom of this, not only because we're concerned about the situation here in the Buckeye State, but there may be things that can be learned that can help people in other states, or even at these fairs that are not really giant, like the Ohio State Fair, or like the amusement parks that we have, the great parks that we have in the state of Ohio. But make no mistake about it, it is a very, very sad night for all of us. And I will be here tomorrow, again, I'll be here tomorrow on the fairgrounds, and walk through the fairgrounds. I hope at some opportunity, at some point I'll have an opportunity to speak to those who were involved or their loved ones. I think with that, let's take a few questions here.
Will the fair be open tomorrow?
Yeah, oh yeah, the fair is going to be open. The rides will not be reopened until they're all inspected again. Maybe this is a good opportunity, Mike, for you to talk about the procedures that you use, both before the fair opens, what happens as the fair opens, and what you do every day. You want to talk about that? Introduce yourself, Mike.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Vartarella. I'm the Chief Inspector for Amusement Rights Safety for the Department of Agriculture, and I'm the guy that we have a team out here of 4 inspectors and myself, and office staff that actually comes out to the fairgrounds during this last week. We look at these rides at different stages. These rides come in on trucks. We're out here since last Wednesday. We take a look at them when they're static. They're not quite up yet. We look at them as they go up. We look at them when they're up, and we actually operate the rides and make sure that they're safe to operate. So we're looking at structure, we're looking at operations, we're looking at electrical, we're going through everything to manufacturer specifications, so to assure that they're put up the way the manufacturer wants them to be put up. We're looking at about 4,300 pieces of equipment in this state. That includes water parks, go-kart tracks, permanent parks, Cedar Points, Kings Island. So we take this job very serious. And when we have a tragedy like this, it hits everybody, and it hits us really hard. So my grandchildren ride this equipment. So our guys do not rush through this stuff. We look at it, we take care of it, and we pretend it's our own. So I'll take any questions.
Mike, talk about the process of this ride in particular, and
Okay.
how it was handled.
This particular ride is what we call a spectacular piece. This piece of equipment is put up from multiple trucks. So it comes together, it's bolted together. We're going to take a look at it as they put it to the ground. We're going to make sure it's level. Then we're going to make sure that we take a look at the structure as it goes up. We're going to take a look at the electrical components, the connections going to the boxes. We're going to look at the hydraulics. We look at any specification that the manufacturer tells us to do. In other words, if there's non-destructive testing or some type of testing that needs to be done, we make sure that all that documentation is in place and it's been completed. every day they're required to do pre-opening inspections. So our team looked at it. We had a third-party team look at it. It's been looked at about 3 or 4 times over the course of 2 days.
Were there any red flags with that ride? Any at all?
No.
Is there a scale in which it's graded? Is there an A, B, C, D scale, or passing or not passing? How does that?
No, our documentation eventually will be available, but there is a certain document that we put in place. It's looking at structural, it's looking at, there's a bunch of check boxes that it has to go. It's not rated on an ABC.
Pass, no pass.
It's pass or fail.
Can you give us specific?
So you had a case here, for example, where there were 11 rides that were not opened at 10 o'clock when the fair opened today because they weren't satisfied with the inspection. And then since that time, there are now 4 rides that are not opened at all. One of them may not be open, the other 3 we'll see. But, you know, you don't want to hurry this process. And so as I talked to him and understood the repeated efforts to try to determine this, and they have the paperwork, because that was my question. Okay, you say you did it. I want to know. I want to see it. Did you do it? And so when they produce it, you know, they're doing what they can. As he says, he's concerned not only about his kids, but his grandkids riding on these rides. We're all concerned about the loss of life and these kind of injuries. It's terrible, but they can only do the best that they can do. But we'll investigate. We're not going to take anybody's word for anything. The Highway Patrol will investigate. The Department of Agriculture will investigate. It will be fully transparent for everyone to understand.
You mentioned that this ride went through several processes of investigating it prior to people getting on. You said it was structurally sound. So then, how can you guarantee with all of the inspections that something like this won't happen again if it passed all of the necessary testing?
There's no guarantee. Obviously, mechanical or structural damage could be done where you can't see it. Metal fatigue sometimes. There's different things that are not visual to the human eye.
Can you give us specific detail on what happened with this ride?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Can you talk about the specifics of that ride? How many people can be on it at a certain time? How many cars there are when that's fully functional?
I'd be speculating now, but there's 4 seats per gondola, if you will. So you have 3 separate sweeps with 4 gondolas, with 3 gondolas on it, I believe.
But with this tour proves that they saw a worker prior to the ride being ran, prior to this accident, going up to the equipment, looking over it, making some kind of adjustment, and then started the ride, and that's when this happened. Can you
I can't confirm that.
Can you spell your last name?
It's V as in Victor, ARTORELLA.
I'm sorry, one more time.
V as in Victor, ARTORELLA.
When was it effective that the rides were closed? Because it seems like they went on for a while after the accident, like things went on like.
Yeah, basically what happened is I got a call from our Chief of Staff, Beth Hansen. I then called Dave, and by that point there were people that were gathered, and I told Dave we don't want to keep the rides going. So I don't know exactly what time it was, but as soon as we learned, you know, I learned and got a handle on the thing, I said we got to shut them all down.
And
Can you say whether there was just one gondola that went off?
No, I don't know. I mean, this will be something, I know there's a video out, but this will be something that will be investigated. I mean, the Highway Patrol, this is what they do. They investigate. Dave Daniel will investigate through his operation. We'll be on top of it in the governor's office. And we don't want to speculate on any of this.
What time did the rides shut down?
I can't tell you.
Do we know?
I can't tell you the exact time. After I spoke to the governor, we sent word out to our staff and they began shutting the rides down. It takes a while to unload. I think that many people saw the Sky Ride continuing to operate. We were trying to offload people as quickly as we possibly could and get them shut down as quickly as we possibly could.
We have 2 more questions, but I think there are a lot of questions that the public do want answered other than 2 questions if you don't mind.
Yeah.
My question is, what message do you have to the people who are afraid to come back out here to the fair? There are a lot of people who bought season tickets, and now after hearing this, they may be afraid to ride again. What do you say to those people?
Well, look, first of all, we don't want to prejudge an investigation other than the material we have and the ability to try to determine if everything was done properly. It appears as though it has been, okay? And as we look around the United States, there are accidents that occur in these parks. And nobody can say that, you know, that there isn't going to be an accident that's going to happen. So the only thing I can tell you is, as we live our lives, we try to rely on people to do the proper inspections to ensure public safety. And people have to use their judgments. You know, this fair's been here a long time. This is the worst tragedy in the history of the fair. But we'll recover from this as well, and we'll move on. But that doesn't mean we won't grieve for what happened here tonight.
One more question, one more. Can you clarify that?
Well, no, people just need to decide how they feel. I'm going to be here at the fair tomorrow.
Can you talk about the demographics of those injured? How many were children? How many adults?
I don't have all that detail yet, and I don't think that's been released yet. They're trying to determine who everybody is and who the family members are.
Do you have age ranges? Do you know if they're teens?
We'll get you the information as quickly as we can get it to you. I don't want to.
Can you tell me what day
Okay.
the ride was inspected, given the all clear, and was it inspected prior to the fair opening today?
Yes, this ride was inspected at a couple of different stages, and it was signed off today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.